Welcome to the Movie Matchmaker podcast. I am your matchmaker and host, Jalen Williams. Across from me is my wife and super producer, Jackie. See, I noticed that you gave yourself a new sound effect, and I still got no applause.
Yeah,
That's three shows going. That's 3 shows going here. Well, thank you, everyone, for listening to the Movie Matchmaker podcast. Premise here, I just wanted to kind of get that out of the way because I realized I didn't do that in the first 2 shows. The premise here is that I recommend a movie that my guest has never seen with the hopes that they love the movie at first watch. So that's pretty much what we do here, kind of breaking it down just so everybody kind of has an idea of what I do, I guess, because people weren't familiar. But moving on. So, ladies and gentlemen, my next guest has been a friend of mine for almost 3 years. When I met him, I embarrassed myself by introducing myself as Brian because I was trying to make sure I remembered his name.
That's amazing you remembered that.
It's embarrassing, man.
It's like fried into your memory now.
It really is because I remember I was like, okay, his name is Brian. His name is Brian. So make sure you remember his name is Brian. And then he's like, hey, and I'm like, I'm Brian. I was like, what? That's not my name. Anywho, he's a real movie aficionado. He also worked at the Sundance Film Festival. It's Wheezy R Baby, and the R is for remarkable, Mr. Ryan Reyes.
That's a great intro. Thank you.
I knew you liked the Wheezy R Baby.
It's also funny that you thought my name was Brian at first because I get that all the time. And
yeah.
I just let it go now sometimes when I'm like, I'm going to see how many times I'm going to see this person. Mm-hmm. And then if I'm actually going to see them continuously, I'll correct it. But if not, I just let it go. Yeah,
I don't know why I was so. I think it's because Gilbert or Sam had mentioned that that you were the Sundance Film Festival friend that they had been telling me about, and I wanted to make a good impression by remembering your name, and then completely blew it. So, but at least it's a memorable start.
Well, we're here now, so it didn't ruin anything.
Exactly. How you doing today?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm excited to talk about this film.
Oh yeah, this movie is one that I kind of picked out of the dark, and we'll kind of get to that as well. But super intimidating to kind of pick movies for you, considering your vast knowledge and your history in the game. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that, but honestly, I still feel like I'm a beginner.
Yeah, if you feel like a beginner, then I must be like a super novice. I was like, man, what do I recommend? I was like, I literally only recommended 2 movies to him before we landed on the movie that we're going to talk about today, and those 2 movies he had seen, I'm just like, oh no! and what's really weird about it is that like I've had a harder time, or not a harder time, but like I've recommended more movies or trying to like, I was like, hey, have you seen this movie to other guests more than I've done that with you. So I guess it was kind of lucky that we landed on this movie, but it's perfect because it's a movie that I hadn't even seen.
Yeah, I'm excited about that part.
Yeah.
I think it's cool that we get to go into this for the first time together.
Maybe I'll just start doing that, just movies I haven't seen too. It's like, okay, let's just throw it into the dark and see what sticks.
Yeah.
All right. So before we get to the movie and the questionnaire that I gave you, I like to do a little segment I like to call Movie Dates. I thought you were gonna. I thought you had like a super sound effect.
I'm so sorry. I only have a few sounds.
No, it's okay. We should get like a. We should get something like lovey-dovey for Movie Dates. Like, oh, let's go to the movie. We'll figure something out. Don't worry about it. So Movie Dates is essentially I will look at movies that came out on or around your birthday.
Oh, cool.
And we'll also find celebrities that were also, or movie-related celebrities that were born on your birthday as well. Okay. And we'll just go through the list. We'll talk about it, see what you remember, see what you know, stuff like that. So September 6th. 1991, not the day that you were born, but it's the only date that actually had, like, I think this is the first Friday actually.
Okay.
So just want to see if you knew any of these movies because I didn't. Company Business and Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll.
I don't think I know that.
Okay, all right, moving on.
I think I was thinking of Sex, Lies, and Videotape or something.
Yeah,
like
I was thinking. I was like, is that the same one? Yeah,
Yeah,
this not the same. Okay. So then in 1994. September 9th, the next Karate Kid.
Oh, okay. I've actually never seen a Karate Kid either.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is what?
We got to do like a family group get together, like Karate Kid night.
Absolutely.
Next movie, 1998, September 18th. Sorry. Rush Hour.
Oh, okay. That's a fun one.
That's iconic.
I love that movie. It's a little racist.
Hasn't aged the best, but
Yeah, for sure.
I was like, I couldn't believe, like, it's just so funny to watch it now versus then. You're just like, oh man, this movie's great. And then Chris Tucker's like, I was looking for your sweet and sour chicken ass. Like,
Chris Tucker has a lot of lines in the entire trilogy where you're like, oh shit.
yeah,
like,
it's
to
just
look
like,
back at it.
yeah, it's just like, okay, well, I mean, if they're okay with it, I'm okay with it, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Can you remove yourself? Like when you're watching an older film, can you remove yourself from the history or our modern context and just watch it for what it is, or does it bother you?
That's a good question. It depends on the movie. Malibu's Most Wanted definitely bothers me. Dance flick, there's like a blackface scene in there. Bothers me.
When was that scene, or movie made?
2000s.
Okay, yeah, it feels like relatively recent, so
yeah,
that's kind of shocking.
yeah. But I guess it really depends. I don't know if I watch it. I really have to think about it because like this is the only movie I can really look back and be like, oh man, that's not okay. Like Jackie Chan said the N-word.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
He said the N-word in this movie.
Also,
That's
Dance Flick
shocking.
was 09, so that's wild.
Yeah, 09. Yeah, so
15 years. That's crazy.
yeah.
We've come a long way in 15 years.
Indeed, we're advanced society. But yeah, I guess I'll have to think about more movies that I feel like have that context, but I don't know if the only one I can really think of at the moment is Rush Hour. But well, I'll go back to that one. I'll think about that more, and then obviously I'll chat you.
Yeah.
So, September 15th, 1999, American Beauty.
Great film.
Never
Academy
seen it.
Award winner.
Never seen it.
That's a
Kevin
great
Costner.
one.
No. The other one.
Spacey.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I'm like, Kevin
other one.
Costner.
It took me for a minute, and then I was like, nope.
I'm like, bacon. Just going through all the Kevins. Okay.
Kevin's are the old Chris.
Mm.
It's like before Chris became a thing.
Yeah,
That's
a lot
a
of
hot
Kevins. That's a lot of Kevins. And back then they were the hot men of their day. Costner, Bacon, Spacey. I mean, I don't know if people looked at Spacey like that, but
He was popular though.
yeah. But like, was he like a Hemsworth or Evans or a Pine? He's probably like the Pine of the Chris's.
We've also moved forward a lot as a society in attractiveness.
Yeah.
Like if you look in back 20 years, like we were on a different level than we are now, where everybody is just better looking.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody looked older back then too. Yeah. Like
you see high schoolers and you're like, you look like a grown man.
The stresses of life we're getting to a little bit. So this one was in 1999, September 17th. Blue Streak, Martin Lawrence, Luke Wilson.
Film.
It's so good.
That's a classic film for me.
I love Martin Lawrence in that movie. Very funny. Luke Wilson plays like a good straight man.
Yep.
You get some Dave Chappelle in it as well.
And you get Martin Lawrence in characters. Like,
yeah.
He did characters so well during that time, so it's fun that you got to see a bit of that in the film, like outside of Martin.
September 14th of 01, Hardball.
Hardball was a great film. I totally forgot about that film, but that was like a non-Matrix breakthrough for Keanu.
He was like, he can do dramatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the kids, like, I mean, that was a popular time. Like, what else was coming out around then? Remember the Titans and like a lot of like children's sports movies and us being kids around that time. It just felt like the perfect moment when you were like, I see myself in this.
Yeah. R.I.P. to G Baby. September 6th, 02. On your birthday, Swim Fan.
Dude, that's actually crazy that movie came out on my birthday. I have that on DVD in the collection at the house. I loved that film.
Yeah, it's really good.
That was a twisted, weird film.
It was like what's the Fatal Attraction?
Yeah,
well, for
but
teenagers.
Yeah.
Really
I don't know
good
if
movie.
I'd want to go back and rewatch it now. I think I just want to let it live in the nostalgia of my mind because I don't think it would hold up to what my mind is making it out to be.
Maybe.
But
right?
I still remember her like pushing him in the pool when he's all tied up.
Yeah.
Like she was twisted.
Absolutely, she was. It was a really good thriller. I'm a big fan of thrillers, and what's this, 02? So I probably would have been like 10.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know when I saw. I don't know if I actually saw it in 02, but like this movie was like, oh wow. Mm-hmm. And I wonder where that girl went. She was really really talented.
Is it Erica Christensen?
It is.
Is that what her name was? Okay.
Yeah, I was going to ask, is that who they call when they can't get Julia Stiles because they look so alike?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think they look alike, but I don't think that Julia Stiles could play a crazy woman quite. I think it's her eyes.
Yeah.
Because her eyes, she got those big doe eyes. You know what I mean? And that gives you like a certain innocence, but then it helps you flip the switch when you like go crazy. Mm. I don't know if Julia Stiles could play a crazy woman. She lives in my heart forever though.
Great film,
though. Really good film. And then a week later, Barbershop.
Dude, that was a great period of film. Who knew that 02 was like such a strong little period?
Yeah, I love Barbershop. Don't get me wrong. It's a great movie. I thought it was Barbershop 2 at first, though. I think that was the one I would lean to if I had to watch either or again. But
I think I just remember Barbershop so clearly. I'd seen that film so many times, and like growing up in the neighborhood that I grew up in, I was at barbershops like that.
Yeah.
So it just felt like home to me, where I was like, oh, I know these dudes.
Yeah,
like, And Eve's character. But yeah.
Hey, Eve. And then September 12th of 03, Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
Oh, the Robert Rodriguez film.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. There was a lot of films that came out around my birthday that were big films for me back then that I totally forgot about.
I love this movie. I think isn't this like a sequel to another Desperado, I believe,
the
right?
capper of a trilogy.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, so there's Mariachi, man. Desperado, and then Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
I've never seen Mariachi.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. And you know what? And that makes sense because like I remember watching this film because I think Johnny Depp is in it, and then he goes blind, I believe. Yeah. And then they have like those suitcases. Like this is all just coming off of memory because I haven't actually seen it as an adult. But like I remember the suitcase, the guitar case gun thing. Yep. Oh my goodness,
that's classic Mariachi.
Man, I really, I might have to go back and watch this trilogy. I didn't even know it was a trilogy because I definitely remember Desperado. I wonder if my family has actually seen Mariachi because they had Desperado and Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
From what I remember, it's been a while since I've seen these films, but I think Desperado is almost like a bigger budget, somewhat remake of Mariachi because Mariachi was Robert Rodriguez's like first film, I believe, and it was like super low budget.
Oh.
So then he got some success, got some budget. So he did Desperado, which I think is like different but the same, and then carried it on from there. But I think it still works as like a trilogy also.
Interesting. I'll have to look at all three. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? I got time. So then we moved to 06, The Wicker Man.
I never saw that.
Me either.
I saw the old one. There's like...
I didn't know there was no one.
Yeah, so that's actually like a seminal horror film. So Midsommar is like heavily inspired by the original Wicker Man.
I haven't seen either. Yeah, this is great.
I have it on DVD, so I'll let you borrow it sometime.
Cool.
It's a good watch.
Okay.
You'll see the Midsommar similarities for sure.
I do want to see Midsommar. I gotta get into more horror films because that's probably like where that and then maybe some dramas where I just like that's where like the least of my movie knowledge is sometimes.
Yeah,
so some other movies that came out on this date, Crossover.
I don't even remember that one.
So this one is like think like You Got Served but basketball.
Okay.
So it's like Anthony Mackie is like a street baller. No, he was a college pro or whatever, and he plays like a underground like street ball league with hopes of making it to the league.
It's coming back to me.
Yeah, and so and Wayne Brady.
Oh my gosh.
Wayne Brady plays like this kingpin underground basketball commissioner. It's
dude, the mashup of things in my mind because I don't have any idea of what this is. I'm seeing like Anthony Anderson from Malibu's Most Wanted, that character mixed with the Dave Chappelle Wayne Brady.
Oh my! It basically is that character from Wayne Brady. That's what I mean, or from Dave Chappelle. That's who Wayne Brady's playing at least.
That's
and
hilarious.
Then it's just. Man, it's garbage. But I think you should watch it just to get like the feels for that that sort of that mid 2000s era where like, you know, baggy shorts reigned supreme and, you know, and1 mixtapes were like hot on the market. Really funny stuff.
That was a weird time for our culture.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was just like, why? Had you seen that movie beforehand?
No, it has a 2% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's actually impressive. That's hard to achieve.
2%. It's not even a guilty pleasure. And it also has Eve in it from America's Next Top Model. You know her?
No.
Maybe?
Oh, I was thinking other Eve, but
no, not that Eve, but Eve is too good for that one. But if you want to see some young Anthony Mackie, you know, it's a fun watch. 07, September 7th, 310 to Yuma and Shoot 'Em Up.
Both good films.
Yeah, I love Shoot 'Em Up.
I love 310 to Yuma.
310 to Yuma is good too. I've only seen that one once. My family loves kind of like westerns. Like one of their favorite movies is Tombstone.
Okay.
So this movie is basically like right up their alley. Like Christian Bale, Russell Crowe.
Yep.
Oh man, fantastic movie.
Great film.
I love a good western. They need to bring those back.
I agree.
Not that they haven't. I think The Harder They Fall was pretty good too. So
Westerns have evolved. They've kind of changed. So it's not like the classic Western. So they're still around, but it's like a different take on what that environment
different stories.
Yeah, but I like a classic Western like that.
Yeah, I haven't seen any like spaghetti westerns or anything like that, but the most popular Western that I know is probably Tombstone.
Yeah,
Tombstone was so good.
That's a classic.
It's a long movie, but my family loves like Val Kilmer and
Unforgiven. Great.
Never
great
seen
Western.
Unforgiven.
Oh, one of the best finales of a Western I've ever seen.
Really?
I love that. The ending 20 minutes, maybe, I think. It's been a little while, but the ending 20 minutes are just so good.
Have you seen what am I thinking of? The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
No, I've never seen that one.
I've seen that. That's the only. I took time when I was younger to go back and see that, but that one was phenomenal. But I'll have to check out Unforgiven. I heard that is really good.
That one's worth watching for sure.
Shoot 'Em Up was also really fun. It's kind of like a more fun John Wick.
Yeah.
If it takes itself less seriously, but I loved Clive Owen. Where's Clive Owen at? Right.
Where has he been?
I loved him in Sin City. That's when I really became a big Clive Owen fan. Haven't seen Children of Men.
Great film.
But Shoot 'Em Up, and then he just like fell off a cliff, I guess.
It happens.
And then he was in the Born Identity too, I believe, for a brief moment. So let's see. So then 09. We have I Can Do Bad All By Myself, Tyler Perry movie. Don't suggest you watch it. Never seen it, but don't suggest you watch it. And then moving further down, 2011, Contagion, Warrior, and Kevin Hart, Laugh at My Pain.
Wow, that's a strong day.
It is. It's a strong day. It's really fast. Like I've seen Contagion, and Contagion is it's scary how it like predicted like the pandemic almost, and to a scary degree, like bats.
The way it happens.
Yeah, like it's wild. But a good movie. I haven't seen Warrior, but I'm kind of iffy on Tom Hardy because he's like
I liked that film a lot though.
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't expect to like it as much as I did, but it just has a lot of like sports movie heart.
Like Rocky.
Yeah. Yeah, to where you're just watching it and you're just like behind the story.
Yeah.
And you're just in it.
Yeah.
I showed it to Yamila recently and she really liked it too.
Really? Shout out to Yamila. Some other notable movies that came out in the last 4 years. Tenet, September 3rd, 2020.
Great one.
I love that movie. I will defend it with my life.
That was just a hard time for that film to come out.
Yeah.
And it sucks because it should have been seen on the big screen and it should have been a huge film.
Yeah. I think it's more so that people just are like it's more complicated. It's one of his more complicated movies.
Oh yeah.
At the very top, if you want to like look at like this probably goes like Tenet, Interstellar, Inception.
Yeah.
In my head. Actors and actresses: Idris Elba, Jeff Foxworthy, Rosie Perez, and Chris Christie, governor of New Jersey.
All on the same day?
Yeah.
Wow.
All on the same day.
Weird with Chris Christie thrown in, but like overall strong day.
Very strong day. No, Idris Elba, I mean, you've already won with Idris Elba, but then Rosie Perez, I I don't know. I have a very soft spot for Rosie Perez, and she wasn't even in like my general timeline of like movie crushes for like when I was growing up. Yeah. But I saw her in White Man Can't Jump.
That was it.
Beautiful.
Same.
Beautiful woman.
Yep. And as a Puerto Rican guy, I feel like I just always am down whenever I see a Puerto Rican woman. I'm like,
oh yeah,
I'm in. Yeah. I'm gonna support you. I'm gonna ride for you.
Right. We support Rosie Perez on the show. We should get some buttons made or something.
Absolutely.
Vote for Rosie. All right. So let's get to the interview really quick. Just touch on a few things that that I thought was interesting with the questionnaire that I gave you before, and that kind of got me leaning towards certain things when choosing the movie that we were going to watch together or watch. I guess not together, but you get the gist. Yeah. So, first question was, a memorable childhood movie, and while you said that you didn't have any that you saw as a child, but you did remember seeing the original Fast and Furious in theaters. So I wanted to get your take on how do you feel about the franchise now, and do you look back on it and maybe think about, oh wow, I saw the birth of a franchise, because I definitely didn't see Fast and Furious in theaters.
I have had a lot of weird feelings about the franchise as it's progressed, and I've kind of come full circle to where now I do accept it, but it took me a long time to really accept it, because it was like I loved the original so much, and then they changed it, and I was just like, what the hell is this? Yeah. And that also came right when I was getting into like more indie film and like more thoughtful films, so it's like we were diverging paths. So it was hard for me to like really accept it for a while. I didn't even go see a lot of them in theaters. I would just watch them later, but now I've kind of come back around, and I'm like, I can't say I love them, but I accept them for what they are, and I can just enjoy them at least and have fun with them. But the original just felt like so special to me. Very special
movie, to be honest. Like it took street racing to a level where I don't know. It's a good drama, honestly. Like 100%. It's not like the racing is cool, but like the story itself, like whenever I think about the first Fast and Furious, I think about the scene where Brian has to basically call in an ambulance, and he's basically telling on himself like, this is officer, this is officer, and then Vin Diesel like looks at him, and he is so hurt.
You'd feel it.
He like he's like, I'm out of here.
He's
like drives
by
off.
His family.
Yeah, like he was betrayed by his family. I take family very seriously. Yep. But
the stunts in that movie too.
Yeah.
I mean, like I will always remember the first time I saw the cars go under the semi. That was a major stunt. I don't know if it was just because of the age I was in and I was impressionable, but I will always remember that moment of just like, oh, they actually did that. Like that's wild.
Anytime I play like a GTA or a Need for Speed, I will always try to go under an 18-wheeler. I'll risk my life for it anytime.
Classic moment.
Right. And then I asked you, of course, some of your favorite movies.
That was hard.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's a difficult question, to be honest. Like I just ask it, because it's a basic question, but it kind of gives an idea of where they lie, And you said that you liked movies with a strong sense of personality, something fresh and unique, and the movies you gave have some of the freshest or unique tastes or takes or personality in film. So I haven't seen A Bronx Tale, but
that's probably my top film.
But I know that I know this is one of Gilbert's favorite movies too, and I really do need to watch it. He brought that up to me.
I'm gonna put together a care package of films for you after this, and just be like, you can watch all of these now.
Right. Might as well. I mean, I got time. And then, so the second movie you had was When Harry Met Sally.
Yep. I've really grown to love that film, which shocked me.
It's the pinnacle of rom-coms.
Yep.
Yeah. Personally, I don't know why I would put Sleepless in Seattle over it, but this is a great. But When Harry Met Sally is just a better relationship builder.
Yeah.
Because, like, I guess Sleepless in Seattle hits more on the classic rom-com, but When Harry Met Sally more hits on, it hits more as a movie than a rom-com itself. Because it's not, is it I mean, it's romantical. It has some romance elements, but it's more just a drama and following two people throughout their lives, and then they're finding love. You know, like I don't consider that like how to lose a guy in 10 days or like the Wedding Planner type of thing. So, but no, it was. I remember we had watched it. We were just like, wow. It was like, I get it now.
It's hard not to at least enjoy it, like that film. Really like it.
Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal really did their thing.
Billy Crystal killed it. He was so funny in that film.
Yeah, he was. He was very funny. The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Love that film.
I've seen this maybe once. I remember my sister loves this movie, I believe. She kind of put me onto this one. I feel like my memory is so spotty with it, but I remember my sister loving it a lot. If she likes it, then that's enough for me. So, and then you had The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Dude, I was gonna recommend this movie to you, and I literally like flipped my iPad. I said, "Fuck!" I was like, "He's never seen this one." I would have
happily watched that film.
Yeah, it's so
nope,
good.
Never seen it.
Yeah. It's and Jackie, I think you would like this movie too because it's such a good like wanderlust movie because he basically works for Time magazine and he's trying to find this lost film for the like a 100th anniversary cover or something like that. And man, you should see the views and the sights, the sounds that he kind of gets into, and it's it's almost like Click almost like it's not funny like Click, but it's like seeing Ben Stiller in a different light. You know what I mean? Like he normally does like these really smart comedy movies, but this one has some comedy in it, but it's more just about adventure. And
he directed it.
Yeah.
Which is impressive because it's a well-directed film.
Yeah, it is. Very well directed.
It's fun too because it's like you see him going from this character who's stuck in his head and daydreaming and he can't take action in real life. And as the film progresses, he goes from these like vivid, crazy daydreams to now the vivid, crazy action is happening in his life as he's searching for that film. So it's such a cool personal story as well as like this larger overarching plot that's also fun to watch. So it just works for me on like multiple levels. Yeah, I love that film.
And I also thought it was interesting because you're a travel guy yourself. So like this kind of feels like it connects to you on more of a personal 100%. Level because of how you love to travel. So, and then you have There Will Be Blood. I haven't seen it.
Love that film.
I
just saw it recently, so I can't talk on it. But it immediately I was like, I get it. I see why everyone loves it so much. It's up here on my list, and yeah, it's an amazing film. Fantastic.
I haven't seen a lot of Daniel Day-Lewis movies, to be honest. I gotta get on that train. I tried to watch Gangs of New York once, and
you got to be in the right mood.
Yeah, you got to be in like okay, let me watch like a 3-hour movie real quick. But so then the next movie you had was Soul.
Love that film,
man.
Beautiful film,
man. What a good movie.
Hits me on so many levels, like in your heart.
Yeah. I just before I record the day of my recording, I have a podcast pregame music playlist that I play, and I try to do like a little yoga and stuff like that to get me like focused and centered. And whenever I think of like being in the zone, I think about this movie because about how they described it and how it's like. It's not like you're thinking about it, but it's just kind of like coming to you. And that's what I kind of want to get when I'm doing the podcast. So this movie definitely hits home for me. And I'm sure maybe that's some of what you're getting out of that movie too.
100%. I think that's what we all want to find in life. Yeah. It's something that gives us that type of feeling, that drive, that passion to where you're not thinking, you're just doing.
Yeah.
And you're just flowing with it. And like with art, with pottery, I feel the exact same way. But it's funny sometimes because then those are the things that you also hold yourself back from.
Yeah.
And it's like, why? Yeah. And then you do it and you're like, why have I not done this in 6 months?
Yeah. It's the fear, man. Like your ego gets in the way and it doesn't want you to fail. But like it's just such a good lesson in not stopping because of failure. You know what I mean? Like I've done podcasting, I've done creating so many different types of ways, and it's never about. I've learned so many things from those experiences, but when you actually get to keep going and seeing it through, it just gives you these cool new experiences that you get to add on top of. And although I've only seen this movie once, it's just so impactful. I always think about that zone scene. I'm just like, oh man, I want to find that, because I've had that before, and you just constantly want to chase that moment where everything's just kind of like slowed down for you. So.
It dropped in theaters again. We should have went to go see it.
I wanted to see it.
It did. And with Turning Red, I think, right?
Yeah. It was one of those COVID drops, so
yeah.
They did it.
Yeah, it was. I'll definitely have to. I need to get that on DVD, to be honest.
For sure.
Great one. Yeah.
Yeah, can't let Disney hold me hostage on that one. And then the next movie, Across the Spider-Verse. Boom.
Hard for that not to be in your top list, especially if you're an animation lover.
Yeah.
The things that they do with the animation in that film alone is gorgeous.
And
wow.
And speaking of animation, the movie that we suggested has some beautiful, or the movie that I suggested has some beautiful animation in it as well, which we'll get to.
100%.
But yeah, Across the Spider-Verse has game-changing animation. Like when I think about certain animated movies and just like the level of dedication to it, I think Lion King. I think Across the Spider-Verse. Even the new Mutant Mayhem, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has some of that too.
Heavily inspired by Into the Spider-Verse.
Atlantis.
Yeah.
And heavily inspired for sure. Like it's just so many. When you do the animation right and like really take care of it, the movie itself is almost effortless. Like I can't think of an animated movie that has great animation but poor story. It's like it's almost connected at the hip.
To have like truly inspired animation, I feel like you have to have the story that can carry it, but then vice versa too. Like the animation will carry the story, even it will uplift the story, even if the story is dragging at a time, because you're just taking it in from a visual standpoint. Like they have 6 different worlds, all with unique animations in this film, and they're all gorgeous and amazing, and it's inspiring to see like what they were able to do with that.
Yeah, Gwen Stacy's world, man, those paints, those watercolors, it hits me every time when when she hugs her dad after she comes back, and then you can like see the lighting around her change. Beautiful film. Beautiful
art,
film.
like a genuine piece of art.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like YouTube that What's Up Danger scene from Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah.
At least 6 to 10 times a year. Like whenever I need to like make a decision.
Just gets you juiced.
Oh, it's so good. I cry every time. It's
and that's also impressive, because Into the Spider-Verse was such a well done, gorgeous film itself. You're like, just stay on that level and we'll be happy. Yeah. And then you come with Across the Spider-Verse and it's like, oh, you just upped it in every way.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah, exactly. And then we get to some of your worst movies. You said bigger budget film movies, and I get that. Like some of those movies are just crap anyway.
Yeah, they're not even trying. They're just going through the motions.
And then you listed Thor: Love and Thunder.
Hated that. So disappointed. That was like a gut punch after Ragnarok.
Yeah, Ragnarok was so good.
Yeah, you're like, how are you gonna like do this complete 180 on me? I had such high expectations after Ragnarok, and then to get Love and Thunder, you're like,
and it was short too. You had Christian Bale.
Yeah,
that was upsetting.
Waste that?
And then Wonder Woman 1984, bruh, man. And you know what's funny is that I didn't know who Pedro Pascal was.
Oh, that's funny. That's your introduction to him?
Yeah, I was like, this movie sucks. But no, like Pedro's great. Pedro's great. But that movie was all over the place, to say the least.
Yeah, especially because it came out during COVID, didn't it?
Yeah,
so
it
like,
did.
You want that just mindless release. Like I was ready for a mindless film, and that was still bad.
It was mindless to like. There's like a good mindless like Godzilla.
Yeah,
and then there's a bad mindless like this movie. Yeah. So couldn't agree with you more on that. And then The Gray Man. Man, did I hate this movie. Yeah. I hated this movie. And I think it's more so because I think that, well, you said this in the past that, like Netflix actually does have good action movies. You just got to find them. But the ones that they promote are just garbage.
Trash.
Like,
they haven't made a good one.
I love Chris Evans. I'm a big Chris Evans fan because of Captain America.
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling, big fan of his.
Yeah.
And then the Russos, they have a good track record with me because of Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
And this movie was just like so bad. I was
and
just
you
like,
have $200 million.
Oh, it was.
So it's like you have all the pieces that you need to do something really cool.
Yeah. I don't know, man. they were using drone shots in there for like no reason at all. I was just like, what are we doing?
I think the worst thing I could say about that film, or any film really, is if you just, I don't remember it at all.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I don't have the best memory, but I will remember something from a film, especially when there's like a moment that you're like, oh, that's seared into my mind. There's not a frame of that film that I can even recall because it was just so bad. I was just like waiting for it to be over.
Yeah, it wasn't pleasant to me. Not a pleasant watch. I'm glad that you listed that one because like I really want Chris Evans to do like big things. You know what I mean? Like I'm a big Chris Evans supporter. So like when he is not like on top of his game or is doing movies like this, and it's just like, what are you doing? But like, of course, it's part of the check. So, all right. So then we go into. I actually want to get to your why do you like movies, because I read this and I couldn't agree more. Like you touched on that, you know, it teaches you so much about people, you know, in different walks of life. It's made you more empathetic, and it's fun to see different stories. And I couldn't agree with any of that, or I agree. I couldn't agree with it more, essentially.
Yeah.
And my question for you is: do you have, when you think about that, do you have any movies that has taught you anything that you can just think of at the top of your head?
I mean, I feel like Moonlight definitely came up for me as a film where it's just a community and a way of life that I couldn't relate to in multiple ways.
Yeah.
So it just is one of those films that opened my eyes to the different ways that people can live and the way that it affects how you carry yourself out in the world.
Yeah.
That you have to you can see, but when you're just seeing people in the world, you have no clue what's going on behind the scenes. And you see that, and like it hits on multiple walks of life, you know?
Yeah.
And then that gives you greater empathy for the way that people are going to carry themselves through the world and decisions they might make. So that was one that definitely hit me deeply.
Yeah.
And one of the coolest moments that I ever had for that was from that film. At Sundance, we did a private screening with Barry Jenkins. There was like 40 of us in the room and got to do a private Q&A with Barry Jenkins.
Wow.
Yeah.
Iconic.
That was amazing. Such a moment.
That's a top 5 moment in anybody's life for sure. Like if you're a real film lover, that's a top 5 moment for sure.
You're sitting there like, I can't believe this is happening.
Right. Like,
I have to be present, but I can't believe this is happening.
Right. Just watch yourself, kind of like an out of body moment.
Yep.
Yeah. Good stuff on that. And then I also asked, you know, what movies have left a lasting impact on you. You listed Kill Bill.
Yep. That's one that I always will remember.
Yeah. I've seen Kill Bill, but I don't. Well, let's talk about this. What about it impacted you so greatly? You think, was it the style of the action? Was it the story itself? I mean, I know Quentin Tarantino is probably a big part of that, but what impacted you about this movie?
Well, I think it came out. Can we double check? I think it's like 2004. I want to say 2003, 2004.
Probably 2003.
Yeah, so it's like I was 16 years old at the time.
Yeah, 2003.
2003, okay. So I was 15 years old at the time then. So you're like right in that teenage phase to where I just want cool action. Like I'm not thinking about film on a deeper level, you know? But then that film comes along and it's like this gateway drug where you're like, not only is it just cool action, but it's like, look how stylized it could be. It can have this story that means something more, especially when you combine it with Volume 2.
Yeah.
So it was just like the first taste I think I ever got to where I was like, oh, there's levels to what film could be.
Yeah.
And it just sort of opened that door a little bit to me. I don't feel like I actually walked through it for years, but it was the first film. It was also my first Tarantino film. That was pretty cool too. But yeah, it was the first film that just showed me that there could be more to film. So I feel like it holds a place in your heart. After that.
No, I agree. And you know what, when I think about movies that like impactful movies like that for me in like a formative years, it's got to be Inception.
Inception's
I just
mind blowing.
I probably talked about Inception on every episode of this podcast, but like when I think about major impact, man, like it's like the movie heart, like it doesn't do, like it does everything right, and that was definitely one of those movies. Like I gotta find more movies like this.
Yep.
Like how do people I'm like, who directed this?
That's
like,
a high bar too.
Right. Yeah. I'm just like, I'm like, who directed? I'm like looking into everything about this movie. And then, And then I saw that he like directed The Prestige, and then I'm watching that again. And the funny thing is, I had saw The Prestige before. I was like, wow, this is a really good movie. But then but then you get like his magnum opus of a movie, like his creme de la creme, this one movie that sets you on a journey. You're just like, whoa.
I think the nice part of films like Inception, Kill Bill, all those where it's like an iconic director too, and they have so many influences. You get to like pick that apart then also, and just be like, okay, this is now leading me to these places that I never even knew about with film. Yeah. So this didn't happen with me with Kill Bill and other Tarantino films until I was a little bit older, but it's like you start to see where their influences are and then go back and watch those films. And then that takes you to whole new genres of films and whole new decades of films that I've never even touched before. And suddenly now it's like just opening all these doors and what else is like that. And it just so many new roads.
Absolutely.
Is Kill Bill one of his first films?
I think it's his fourth. Yeah.
It only had a $30 million budget. That's insane.
Which is incredible.
Maybe that's a lot in 2003, but still.
No, it is incredible. Like, that's not one of his first. I think his first was, or Pulp Fiction, maybe?
Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah. Duh. And then Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, Kill Bill.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about Jackie Brown. I don't know why I always think that's like a movie from the 70s.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but like whenever I hear Jackie Brown, I think about 70s.
Like, I feel like he would appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a compliment.
Yeah. But yeah, super impactful. Jackie, do you have any impactful movies or I'm just curious, like anything that like really impacts you when you think about like your journey into loving more movies?
Off the top of my head, I can think of, I saw The Good Dinosaur. I think it's like a Pixar film.
I've never seen that.
And it's just a movie about loss and grief. And just at that time of my life, it was just so impactful. And I always think back to that movie. And it's just so random. You know, it's not like the best. I haven't seen it again, but I do think about it often.
We should watch that again.
Yeah, for sure.
It's interesting, too, how movies can speak to you. And sometimes they find you at a time in your life when you need them. And it's just like a weird thing with the universe, right? Where you're like, how did this come in my life at the perfect time?
Right.
Yeah.
But it has such an impact on you because of that.
That's how that scene in Pursuit of Happiness always gets to me, because like I had seen Pursuit of Happiness before, but like there's that one scene where he's talking to his kid, like, you know, don't let anybody ever tell you can't do something. If you got a dream, you got to protect it, and if you want something, go get it. Period. And like I literally have that on my phone, and I'll just like every quarter or so, it'll pop in my mind. And I'll watch that scene, and it's just like it's me talking to my younger self, like, you can't let you stop you. Like no one out here is trying to stop me from doing what I want to do, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it's me that's doing that. But like if I want it, I just gotta go for it. Like, that's the only thing you need to know. Like what else is there? Like, forget the excuses.
Yeah.
Like, just go for it. And man, like whenever I think about that, it just revs me up. I'll go, you know. No, it's more like a Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta Final Flash explosion.
That's that sound here.
Yeah, exactly.
And glowing emoji.
Yeah, exactly. It's like my heart is exploding with the power of like 6 atomic bombs.
Power of possibility.
Yeah, I'm like, nah. I'm so revved up. Let's do it, Will Smith. That's pretty much me. And then you list some of your favorite actors and actresses: Florence Pugh, Austin Butler, Barry Keoghan, and
like the future. I would say, like, I was trying to think of like where film is going. Maybe not history wise, but just like where we are in this moment. Like, they just all feel like
these 3 are great.
Where the future is going, that's them.
Yeah, I was thinking about trying to find movies that they have been in or actors like them, and I don't know if there's anybody like these guys. I don't know. Like, I can't put my finger on somebody that, I mean, I guess Barry's closest person would be maybe like a Killian, but mostly just because I think they're both Irish.
Yeah.
But completely different actors.
He does a lot of really unique stuff. Like when he's on a film, you remember him. You know.
Absolutely.
And it's like just what he brings to the film that I think is from inside of him. That nobody else can really do that.
No.
That's what makes an actor great. Like the decisions that they're making is going to change the way that we're going to perceive their character.
Yeah, I mean, if you've seen Saltburn.
That movie is forever in my head now. I will never forget that movie.
Yeah, and he improvised a lot of that. So
that's what's even crazy about it. Yeah,
I'm like, am I judging you for that though?
Yeah. Where did this grave scene come from?
Yeah, exactly.
How do you improvise that?
Right. So I just want to fuck some dirt, man. It's like,
now I have a good reason.
Right. He's like, you mind if I just play around in this soil real quick? Just keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. And then just a fun question at the end of this was movies you loved that everyone else hates. And I know Jack is going to love this. Jumper.
Love that film.
I love Jumper.
If you're on the bandwagon, it's an amazing film.
Yeah.
It's not a great film, but it's an amazing film.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so fun.
And just the idea of it. Like, as someone who, with, like, extreme wanderlust, like, if I could just... snap my finger and be somewhere, I'm there.
We're recording this from the top of the pyramids right
now.
Yeah, exactly. It's not as windy as you think.
Yeah. And Sam Jackson is a fun villain in it.
Yeah.
Like he makes brings a fun energy to it.
Yeah.
Have you seen this film?
Not all the way through. I think there's another movie just like this that came out around the same time, I believe. And I think is also like a teleporting movie, and I can never think of it. But maybe I'm thinking of that one with Chris Evans.
Chris Evans.
He has some type of power or something like that. So, Push.
Yeah,
maybe that's what it is. I haven't even seen that one all the way through. But anywho, I've seen. Don't get me wrong. I've wanted to watch Jumper. I just haven't had the opportunity.
I've told people I like this film before, and I get some hate. So I understand why. And that's like I'm not ever saying like, oh, this is like a life-changing film. You're gonna love this film, but it's just fun.
He's like, let me show you the good version, and then puts Looper on. I'm like, this is not the same.
No. I don't think Looper and Jumper are the same. Looper's time travel, completely different. But that's how people feel when I mention The Happening.
I don't even remember The Happening that much. M. Night, right?
It's just I don't know. There's something about it. I'm like, ooh, plants attacking. Okay. Anywho, all right. So, let's get to this movie, huh?
Let's do it.
So the movie I selected, which just happened to be on, I don't know, some type of gut reaction. I think I had saw it in like a list of like. Movies with like crazy death scenes or like death scenes that impacted you on like Twitter or something like that. And I was like, let's just see if he's seen it. I don't know. I was like, let's just throw something out there. Cause I literally on Monday, I was like, okay, let's see if he's seen this and this. He's like, no, I've seen that. I was like, crap. Okay. So then Tuesday, I don't think I mentioned anything because I was like so stuck in my head. I was like, if I recommend another movie to this man and he's seen it, and I only recommended 2 movies. I don't know. I was just really in my head. And so I recommended this and then something else I also recommended. But
I think, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah. But the point is that we found a movie. He said he hadn't seen it. I said, you know what? Neither have I. I'm breaking the rules on my own pod. I haven't seen it. He hasn't seen it in the movie.
Hold on. I got my drum roll.
Uh-oh. Drum roll, please.
Please hold.
Okay, I'm holding.
I gotta like download these sounds because
the suspense is killing
me.
It's like a build up to the build up.
Thank you.
The Iron Giant. Let's get some applause for Iron Giant, please. So this movie was directed by Jennifer Aniston. No. Brad Bird. He's done Incredibles 1 and 2. This guy's got a list. Well, I mean, not a real list of movies, but just stuff that he's been a part of, like animation wise, writing wise, incredible. So Incredibles 1 and 2, Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation, Ratatouille,
great film.
Ratatouille.
He's got my vote.
And Tomorrowland. Never seen Tomorrowland, but Ratatouille, man. I didn't realize how good Ratatouille was. Like, I had never even seen it, and I saw it as an adult. I was like, whoa, it was good.
I think it's better as an adult.
Absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. When he takes a bite of that Ratatouille, the food critic, and he just, like, gets a flashback to, like, his mother making, oh, my goodness, my heart melts. My heart melts. Yep. I'm just like, that that is the beauty of food. Whenever I think about like my mom making like chili or just like tuna, even just like little stuff like that, and you just eat it, you're just like, oh my goodness, it just takes me back. It takes me back. Time travel's real, man. I don't know about you, but good film.
A fun fact too, because I watched a special feature on this film after that was Brad Bird telling the story of his career up to Iron Giant and the making of Iron Giant. So I might throw out a couple of like tidbits from that.
Oh, please.
But so fun fact about Brad Bird is he got into animation like really early as a kid, like 11 years old, and he saw Jungle Book, and that was the film that made him want to be an animator. So he, at 11 years old, over the next couple of years, created a short film called Tortoise and the Hare, and it was surprisingly good. They showed it on the special feature. For a child making this, impressive, like really good.
Wow.
He sent it to people at Disney because his parents encouraged him, like, just send this to people you admire. He sent it to people at Disney, and they were so taken by it that they offered him a one-of-a-kind internship where he got to come and learn at 14 years old from their master animators.
Whoa.
Yeah, so early in, he was 14 years old in the doors at Disney.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's, he just, some people are meant to do this, I feel like.
That just goes to show you why you have to, like, one, embrace children's dreams, but also just take a shot, man. Like, because he could have just been an animator. He could have just been drawing stuff, and maybe his parents never told him, just like, no, that's cool, and then maybe when you grow up, you can do blah, blah, blah. But, like, at 14?
14.
And then look at the masterpiece that he produced from that. This movie is, I couldn't believe how short it was, but also how, like, it's very accurate as far as, like, the time period. It was because it's based in 1957, and some of the little details that I picked out from it, which we'll get to, was just so, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I was like a kid wouldn't notice this, obviously, but like me, like they had like the comic book of like the Red Menace, and that one video where they're showing like what to do in the case of like atomic fallout. I was like, wow. I was like, it's so accurate, like for that time, like.
You had Sputnik in the beginning going around in space, and like it perfectly dates you to where we were, and you can get a good feel for what the mentality of the culture was. At that time. Absolutely.
Yeah. So what did you think? What maybe not give like if you liked it or loved it, but what did you think going into it? What are some scenes that maybe that you loved? Let's go from there.
Yeah. Well, so first off, I was super happy that you chose this film because this was one of the films. I have a weird thing with films where, because I do love them so much, sometimes if I get overhyped for a film, I will not watch it because then I'm trying to find the perfect time, the perfect mood, perfect everything to watch it, because I'm like, I can only watch it for the first time once. So I want that experience to be perfect. But sometimes that will make me not watch a film then. And it's like you're missing out on it because of that. So it was nice to finally just be like, go watch Iron Giant. So I was happy about that.
Yeah, that's kind of how I am with La La Land. I still haven't watched that. Like I've been wanting to see La La Land for like the longest. What you think of that? I've been wanting to watch it for so long. I just like, but I'm like, no. It's just like, no.
That's another film that I get why people hate it, but I love it.
People hate this movie.
Oh, people hate La La Land.
Really?
Hate it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a love or hate film.
Wow. I love a polarizing movie.
I think it's magical though. I love it. I have fun with it.
Yeah, it looks very colorful. I mean, I don't know.
Have fun.
We'll see.
It's a film. Just have fun with it.
Yeah. That's the goal with any film. Just we're not here to take it seriously. Yeah. The movie community is a serious community for sure. And don't get me wrong, I'll talk about movies till I'm blue in the face.
Yeah.
But it also has to be a layer of like, let's relax.
Yeah. I think it depends on what you want too. There's plenty of films that I will take seriously and have meaningful feelings and thoughts and discussions about, but then other ones where I'm like, I'm not going to take La La Land that seriously. Like I just want to enjoy that because I know what it is and what it's meant for. And like, for me, that was just a really fun time. You
learn some really good perspectives when it comes to movie enjoyment, to be honest. Because like I can definitely be a little binary in my movie watching sometimes. Because like And then even when we're discussing movies that we've seen in our childhood and stuff like that, I'm always like, what? And she's like, this is one of my favorite films. It was just like, boo. And it's like, I shouldn't ridicule her for that. It's just like, that's what you grew up on. And if you love it, if you like it, I love it.
And it just shows how different we all are.
Yeah. That's definitely for sure.
Just part of it.
Yeah. So what are some of the... What did you like about this movie? Did you hate anything about this movie? Was there anything that in this movie that you, or I don't want to say hate, but like anything that just like stood out that just wasn't like,
I don't think so.
Yeah, me either.
I think there was just a lot that I really liked.
Yeah.
And I mean, there was so many things that's just like kind of hard to, there was many scenes, many sequences, many like individual shots that I have an entire page of some of my favorite like
I'm looking at this
shots.
page, guy. It's like it looks like a Bible a little bit. It's a lot.
There was a lot that I just took, especially I love animation, so this was perfect from that. And there was just so much that I saw in this film that I was like, wow. I do wish, I'm happy to see it now, but I wish a young me could have seen this.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this could have been a young me's aha like moment, like the way Jungle Book was for Brad Bird, to where I was like, I want to do that, because this movie really, I think it would have spoken to me. I would have loved this film as a kid.
Yeah.
Because the giant himself, I mean, I'm sure I'm not like saying anything revolutionary here, but like I just love the giant.
The giant was great.
He's so, and you just feel so much of his personality and he's a child, you know? And you see that in him, the way that they animated him, like his expressions, his mannerisms, you see just how fun he is. Like in the beginning when he's in the forest with Hogarth and he like sits on the ground and he's imitating his movements and his legs are spread out like his, and then he's like doing you're just like, he's a child. I love it. And he's like endearing because of it, because he's just so open to the world and you just want to like hug him.
Yeah. What, Jack, you've seen this movie as a child. What if any impact did it have on you?
I just always remember the souls don't die part.
You
know,
it's a powerful part.
It is. It definitely is. And I remember it being like just so sad that he was just so misunderstood. You know, and like to be that one person that's like, no, like this is my friend. I don't know.
Yeah.
Beautiful story.
That's a great take.
Yeah. No, it is. It really is. Cause like, I mean, and I think that's such a good lesson for children to learn, to be honest. Cause like, I mean, that's all that children want to pick out is the differences, you know, and stuff like that. But like, there were so many similarities between Hogarth and the giant that like, that's why they became friends. And it's like, it's almost fate that Hogarth was the one to like meet him there, because anybody else would have, cut tail and run, you know, as you saw in this movie. So it's really impactful. I really enjoyed the animation on this. I don't know what style of animation this is, but like there's something in this where everything just looks absolutely smooth. Like the way the water was moving, even like the Mansley's like eyes, when his eyes were like darting a certain way.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't believe this movie was made in '99. Like it was so good. The colors felt so rich and like fluid. I don't know what I should have done my research on it, to be honest, but like it reminded me of like Atlantis, because Atlantis has a lot of that same like fluidity to it. And it's just like, it's such a joy to watch.
It's part of what breaks my heart of 2D animation being moved away from and 3D taking over, because I personally love 2D. There's like a very soft spot in my heart for 2D.
Yeah.
And this film, this is actually, so it's a blend of 2D and 3D. The robot is 3D. The rest of it is 2D.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
And
okay.
Yeah. So, but like, I agree that it just feels so smooth and fluid. Parts of it kind of remind me of 101 Dalmatians too.
Oh yeah.
Like some of the close-ups and the pans with the films. Yeah. Or with the heads. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't even.
That's a good one. I didn't think about that 101.
Yeah. Yeah, and I didn't even think to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, please.
Oh no, I was just gonna say how beautiful it all is.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, even at times, fun little nerdy fact. I actually watched it twice because
see,
but it's also because it's so short.
Yeah,
I could watch this twice in the time that it takes to watch Dune Part 2 once. So
shout out to Dune Part 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna just sneak that in here.
Right.
But it's just so short that it's like I loved it. And for me to really get into a film too, I have to watch it multiple times, because the first time it's like I'm just connecting the dots of who's doing what, how's this all progressing together. And then the second time is when I can just sort of then focus on the details and piece like the Easter eggs, the little moments of like, oh, this is happening now because this will happen later and this connects to this.
Right.
Like, so it helps me to like really, if I love a film, go back and rewatch it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one, I mean, it's so easy to rewatch.
Yeah. And that's what's so funny, because I was thinking to myself, I was like, because we watched it yesterday, and it said it was 2 hours. And I was like, okay, I'll probably have to watch a little bit, then come back and watch some more. And then we finished it. It was like 1:20.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow. And then for some strange reason, I didn't watch it this morning, but like I was like, I should watch this twice.
Yeah.
You know, like there's just certain movies that you should watch anything twice, because like sometimes you just miss it maybe. But like, man, it's just, there's so many great scenes in here. Like I love Mansley's like speech to Hogarth, where he's basically describing the Red Scare. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like he's like, we don't know who this is from. This could be from China. This could be from Russia. This could be from anybody. And we don't know who did it, but we need to find out who, because we could be dead. Like it. And this is kind of funny too, because like when Oppenheimer came out, I was thinking, I keep thinking about how many things have been impacted by World War II, or even just Oppenheimer in general. And this is one of those things. Like
100%. Yeah.
Like this fear over Russia having atomic bombs is like all because of this one event. And had this, if this actually took, if it took place in real life, like think about the impact, like the paranoia that he has about this. And he's so incensed about getting this robot dead that he almost kills and blows up an entire town off the face of the earth. It's incredible.
I feel like there's a moment too, because he starts out as like a light villain.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and he's even a joke to the army generals and stuff that he's on the phone with. So at first you don't take him that seriously. And then it's like when he chloroforms Hogarth. Yeah. It's like a turning point. You're like, oh, this dude's serious.
Yeah, I wrote that down too. I said, okay, first of all, that scene from him getting chloroformed to his bed, that was kind of sick. Yeah. But I was like, did he just chloroform a child?
Yeah.
I said, hey, man.
Dark moment.
Very dark. Very dark. He's like, oh, man. What a great villain, by the way. Because he's kind of like Spot in that way, where from Across the Spider-Verse, where no one's taking him seriously just because of like what he looks like or his mannerisms or whatever. But then like something in him switches, and then it's just like, okay, let's back up a little bit. Like, I'm sorry, okay, I don't mean it.
Yeah, and then
I'm sorry,
go for it. Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say, like, when you watch this as a kid, I wasn't thinking about like World War II. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about like why.
You might not even know what that is.
Yeah, like I'm like I'm not thinking, like I just feel like I was so innocent. I wasn't. I just saw it in a completely different view. I'm like, why are these adults so upset and so scared? Yeah. Yeah. So it's cool to rewatch it and see like, oh.
And and Mansley was probably in the war. Like if we want to if we want to take it back to maybe like a more realistic perspective, he was probably in the war, and so he probably knows the impact and things like that, because he's probably like in his 30s or something like that. He looked like a 30-year-old guy, 40s maybe. So it's so interesting to see that level of paranoia in and talking to a child like that. He's got like the picture, and he's just like, oh man, I got him dead to rights. Like so vicious. Good job by Christopher McDonald, who played Shooter McGavin in Happy Gilmore.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Dang. I did a little research, just a little bit. Nothing crazy. You got some pages over there. Anything or on these pages that you want to kind of bring up or mention?
So there's a couple of things that like really stood out to me, especially as I was watching the special feature and connecting some of these dots of what makes this film even greater, I think. Yeah. So the film is based off a book called The Iron Man by Ted Hughes. Yeah. Never had heard of him, to be honest. He's Sylvia Plath's husband. Sylvia Plath killed herself when she was at home with her kids. She like stuck her head in the oven, turned on the gas. Her kids were in the bedroom. She opened the window and put like a towel on the bottom of the door and to make sure that they didn't get the gas. But dark story, And the kids were in the bedroom, obviously tears them apart. Ted Hughes wrote this book for his kids as a sort of metaphor for how when you're torn apart, you can put yourself back together, and the way that the giant puts himself back together.
Wow.
Yeah. So that brought it to like a whole another deep level for me, where I was like, okay,
the
like,
layers.
There's so much more to this.
Wow.
And then the other piece that like really adds to it is, you know, multiple times through the film, Hogarth is telling the giant, like, this is a gun, guns are bad, guns kill.
Yeah.
And the robot, the giant, is also called a gun at times.
Mm-hmm.
And in the original pitch for the film, he was pitching this film as if, what if a gun had a soul?
Yeah, I've heard that.
And then so that was deeper. And then what kind of brought it all full circle is to find out that Brad Bird's sister was killed by her husband in an act of gun violence. So when he's talking about guns kill people, there's a whole nother level of like pain and reality to it behind that he's bringing to this film. So it's like, I love those type of details. I feel like it makes the movie feel more real to me.
Oh yeah.
And,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's like hearing all of those pieces behind the film really made it even greater for me.
Yeah. Like this is, I don't know. I mean, there's definitely some child or like some kids movies nowadays that are like kind of impactful and help children look within and kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Introspect.
Yeah, introspectively, you know, and kind of like think about things like that. And I couldn't believe how seriously how serious this movie was. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I had pointed out in my notes that like, Hogarth hits like a branch and gets a nosebleed.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Like blood in a children's movie? That's one. But then two, what was the other thing I wrote down? I think the hunters killed the deer.
Yeah.
And they took a moment to really like sit in that, you know, and it wasn't like a Bambi moment where it maybe gets killed off screen or you just see like some birds flying in the trees and you kind of like just make the assumption that it's dead. It's like that might be some kid's first real look at death, you know, from that perspective. And it was crazy to me how like they really took the courage to put that in a film and not just like gloss over it like it's something that you'll see every day, or it really made it impactful and made it a moment that I think kids will remember but won't like freak them out.
Yeah. Well, like Jackie said, she does remember it. The souls never die.
Yeah.
So like that moment, it hits.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was also thinking about like when the giant is like touching Hogarth, excuse me, and he shudders like when he thinks he's dead.
It's the perfect
like
parallel back to that moment.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh man, you could like get chills.
And you see the look on his face. I remember the second time I watched it, I rewound it because I was like, the look on the giant's face, the animation, and the expressions they put on him were amazing. They gave him so much life for just like a mechanic, you know, being
like no eyebrows,
yeah.
no like cheeks to express himself. Like it was very expressive for sure.
But yeah, like the look on his face in that moment, you feel the pain.
Yeah, he was like, distraught.
And to take it back to more of a lighter note, when the giant actually gets that like the bump like smooth back, I guess, or like his head isn't bumpy anymore, he turns into like Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
I said, whoa. I said, this guy is a menace. Like, well, not in that way, but obviously, but like, you know, like he definitely could have.
Which is the perfect parallel to the Superman story.
Yeah.
Where it could go either way, and Red Sun, he is. So it's you got the Russian scare there. It's like so many tie-ins in that story. You're
blowing my mind right now. I didn't even think about the parallel to Superman because like, in every piece of Superman movie or media that I've watched, it's always, at least in the introduction of him, there's always that one government official is like, can we trust him to stay on our side? And like, how is he, like, he's going to throw off the world's power. And that's basically who Lex Luthor was or is. And I just didn't even put that together, but it kind of makes sense because he was wearing an S on his chest.
Yeah. So can I throw another Superman tie-in that?
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead.
Even another layer deeper is the end scene where they're having the battle in the little city like stretch of street, and the military's bombing him. They're shooting him from the ground. At one point, he's up in the sky with the jets, and he's fighting them or trying not to fight them.
Yeah,
is almost not a shot for shot, but it's a pretty direct call forward, I guess you could say, to Man of Steel and the battle where they have in Smallville. And you're like, small stretch of town, they're fighting him from the ground and from the sky. Some of the Zod's people are jumping up in the sky to fight the jets. I'm like, the parallels to that, it was like, did Man of Steel basically watch Iron Giant and remake this scene?
If Zack Snyder went that far back, I would be very surprised. I mean, Zack Snyder's a nerd. Don't get me wrong, but like I would maybe I'll watch Man of Steel today.
The scene I actually went back and rewatched that scene because I was like, am I tripping? Is this just in my head? It's really close. Like if you go back and at least rewatch that scene, let me know what you think, because I'm like, it's just weird how similar these two scenes are to where it's like, there had to be some sort, and with him having all these Superman tie-ins in the film, and now you're seeing this in a Superman film, I'm like, it's almost too close to not be related or inspired somehow. You know,
and just thinking about it, it also reminds me of that Iron Man scene too.
Oh yeah,
where he's in the sky. He's kind of like, he's not. I mean, they're not shooting each other down, but there's kind of like a playful like dogfight going on. So, but very interesting.
It's a great film.
No, this is definitely an animated film that I wish I would have saw as a kid for sure, like you. Because I definitely remember this being like one of those trailers on like a VHS. Because like I remember seeing the part where they're going over the side of the mountain, and then the giant like starts flying. He's like, "You can fly," and then like I instinctively repeated that line even though I hadn't seen it. He's like, "You can fly," because like I remember it from the trailer. Like, man. This and like Pagemaster, I think are like one of those movies that I wish I would have seen, because like I think Pagemaster might have like the same kind of like animation style just from looking at how good this one was.
Under the radar, and they just didn't get any marketing. Like they were saying even in the special feature that this film only had a 4-month marketing window back when they used to have a year-long marketing window for these types of films. But Warner Brothers just didn't even date it, didn't even give it a release date. Boo. And then they were forced into doing test screenings, and it got A+ ratings. So then Warner's was like, oh, we need to actually put this out. We need to market this. And like, long story short, it only had a 4-month ramp up window. And then when it was in theaters, it just got no love. Like I think I saw online it made $5 million in its opening weekend. So it's like,
what a shame.
Yeah.
What a shame. Because like I do, and I'm not even sure if a lot of people have actually seen this movie. Because when I talk to a lot of other people, no one has actually seen the Iron Giant. So maybe that's like a people of the 90s. I mean, if you haven't seen this, please go back. Like, man, what, like an hour 20, the best hour 20 that you can spend on an animated movie, or any movie really. Like it's short, impactful, has a lot of great moments, little laughs too. I mean, like you really can't go wrong with this.
In today's day and age, that's one episode of television, more or less. And instead you get, and that can go either way, lots of filler episodes these days. So you can just get like one complete, cohesive, beautiful story.
Yeah.
So why not?
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else you want to touch on? I think I kind of got to everything that I wanted to get to.
There was one scene that I really wanted to highlight because I just loved it so much, was the scene where he's saying grace at the table. And the hand is behind the mom. I was like, I love this scene. It was so well done. And like his grace that he's saying as it's like reacting to the hand, it just cracked me up.
Yeah.
And the kid is so expressive in his voice acting to where he sold that. Like,
that
could have been a weird monologue, but it's like he sold it and made it funny.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
And shout outs to kid actors or kid voice actors too. Like, cause that's not very easy to do either. But like
a lot of empathy. You have a lot of empathy for him in that film.
Yeah, absolutely. Hogarth is 1 in a million in this one. I think I don't know, man. Like this is probably going to be one of those animated movies that I go back to just to pop on and like just look at, because like I even remember thinking like the story was going to go one way, because like I was like, oh man, they're gonna find him at like the scrap yard or something like that, and then this is gonna be like they're gonna shoot him down or something like that, and it kind of went in a completely different direction, and then man,
a great swerve in that scene too, making him a piece of art, which I guess we're getting into spoilers at this point.
Yeah.
But like to making him a piece of art in that, and then having the mom, I really liked how the mom saw through it. And she was like, the piece is great, but like all these other pieces feel superficial and thrown on. And then it leads into the romance story where she's like, but I really like this one, looking at his actual piece of art. Yeah. And it's like, it leads so like seamlessly and perfectly into that love story for them, where it's just a B-C story, but it like completes the arc of all of this, and Hogarth gets a good stepdad.
Yeah. Shout out to the blended family.
Yeah.
As soon as I heard that voice again, I was like, is that Jennifer Aniston?
Yeah.
I didn't even know. Like she had pointed that out, and then she also pointed out that the general was John Mahoney, who plays Martin on Frasier. Shout outs to John Mahoney. I love Frasier one, but like Martin is probably like the real soul of that show. Like beautiful moment for him.
And Harry Connick Jr. He played Dean.
Who? Harry Connick Jr.
Yeah, he was like a 90s pianist, but he was also doing some acting, and I mean, he's a really talented pianist.
He looks familiar.
He's great.
He's a pianist.
Wow. He's got some great tracks out.
I'll have to listen.
Yeah.
Send me a few.
I will. And then he does some like good film roles too. So it's like, I can't really recall off the top of my head what else he's been in acting wise, but.
P.S. I Love You, apparently.
P.S. I Love You.
Oh, she loves that movie.
There you go.
I love Gerard. Okay.
But yeah, so.
She's like, sold.
Nice little like piece put together cast. Also casting What If. The General, Warner Brothers initially wanted the General to be Arnold Schwarzenegger.
See,
or maybe I'm thinking Manly. Actually, I think it was Manly. They wanted Manly to be Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I don't think that would have done it.
No, that would have been weird.
I don't know if I can see Arnold as a villain. I mean, I haven't seen Terminator, so whatever to that. But it just, I don't know. Like, I don't know, the speed at which Chris McDonald was kind of doing things. It kind of like, I can even see like his Shooter McGavin sort of style in this, where he's kind of suave, but he's kind of like playful a little bit, but he knows something in a little bit stuff like that. So I don't know if Arnold would have. It probably would have tested bad. It probably would have been tested bad. He could have been a giant maybe. Yeah. A little bit, but like even Vin Diesel as a giant. Good job, Vin Diesel.
Yeah, what?
I'm so glad I didn't find that out till the end.
Same,
because it would have changed everything for me.
He's like family.
Yeah, exactly.
He turned into like a 69 Charger or something like that. Like a supercharger.
Busts out, I am Groot.
Right. Oh, I forget he's Groot too. Yeah. Man, he's got some great voice roles. So
he never really says much.
Yeah, I mean,
iconic characters.
He gets the point across. Yeah. I wonder if he played the teen Groot too. Like, what did they just use like a voice changer
like
on him?
Tone it down. Maybe.
Yeah, he's like, I am Groot. Yeah. I wonder. Yeah, but this movie's solid. If I had to, I'm not going to give it a grade, obviously, because that's not what I do here. But actually, let me ask you, since I actually haven't. What did you like? Did you like this movie? Did you love this movie? And did the movie Matchmaker do a good job?
I think I really liked it the first time, and then I loved it the second time.
Oh yeah!
So great job. Yeah. Oh yeah! Round of applause for the movie Matchmaker podcast.
Instinct, baby, instinct. I just knew something told me. Something told me. I had a dream. I think it came to me in a dream, like Field of Dreams.
It's such a great film.
If you watch it, he'll love it. All right. We're probably at time, huh?
Yeah, we're getting there. Do you want to see if he has any movie recs for you?
I was going to get there.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, no worries. Okay, so the last question that I love to give to my guests is, do you have any movie recommendations for me?
I mean, I'd want to think about this one because this is like a personal question for me. But, I mean... Past Lives. If you haven't seen Past Lives,
oh man, I've been wanting to see that.
That's a must for me. That's one of the best films I saw last year. So definitely Past Lives. I want to think on some animated gems too. I feel like there's some good animated gems that, since we're on this animation topic, like I'd love to. I'll have to get back to you after the pod, but I'll send you some recommendations for that too.
For sure, but
and Bronx Tale. You got to watch
Bronx. Oh yeah, I gotta watch that. I don't know why I haven't watched that one yet. Bronx Tale. All right. So I haven't actually watched the other movies that have been recommended to me, so don't get on me about that. I will get to them. I'm a busy man, I guess. Yes, but I'm gonna try to watch all of those movies by the next time I do a pod, which should be in another 2 weeks. So I got a few on my list. What, maybe like 4, 5, maybe.
You got some homework.
Yeah, no worries. I hate homework, so maybe I won't call it that. But
Ryan, we recently discovered Zia Records.
Ooh,
Shout
dangerous.
Out to them. Ooh,
That's very dangerous.
Very dangerous.
I spent a fortune in there.
I have a lot of good
so 3
stuff.
for 5.
Yep.
Man, we were in there for and shout outs to Zia Records. If you live in Vegas, please go to Zia Records if you're trying to build a movie collection. And you know, that's actually another thing I didn't talk about. That I want to talk about. This man's movies collection is insane. He has a CD case. Like think about, this is the early 2000s. You're in a car on a road trip and you're looking for the perfect CD to listen to. He has that case times 3 almost. Like it's like I don't even know what to call it. Like it's
a 300 CD DVD binder
filled to the brim
Yeah.
with DVDs on top of that.
Yeah.
What do you do with the covers?
I threw them all away years ago. Yeah, because at a certain point, when I was traveling, I just didn't have the space for all of this. So that was like what sort of spurred me to get this big binder. And then it's like, I just got to throw these cases away. You don't really need them at a certain point. I alphabetize the binder, and then it's like I know where all my stuff is.
Yeah. This when you I should have like videotaped it. This thing is insane. It's
came home mesmerized.
It's packed with gems, and it literally inspired me to start my own movie collection. So
that's cool to hear.
Yeah, like I have like 106 that I've already alphabetized. I got like another 96 that I bought from this library and Zia Records that I haven't alphabetized yet because I want to kind of turn it into like a TikTok series where I like kind of go through stuff that I bought. But
like a Criterion closet.
Dude, this I was like, why do I not own movies? Because like the digital age is getting overwhelming, especially with all these companies having their different streaming services, and you're paying a bundle just to you know, maybe even get a whiff or watching one of these movies, and they don't even have special features. What's that about?
And sometimes if you love something, it's just nice to like have it.
Oh yeah,
and the picture quality is better also when you're not losing. You know, so it's like it's just such a special feeling to have like a film that you love on film and just or on DVD and just pick it up and just be like, here it is.
We got Bridget Jones's Baby. Or Bridget Jones's Diary.
Yeah, we just watched that.
Wow,
yeah. Really good.
Great rom-com.
Yeah, I get it.
Also a great rom-com. Yeah.
Man, I was like, I will say this till I'm blue in the face, but bring back rom-coms. The 2000s rom-coms.
Good rom-coms. Because they never left, but there's a lot of crappy ones.
Yeah. I just like, man, what a like Renee Zellweger, Colin Firth, and Hugh Grant. Like I remember she saw Hugh Grant, she's like, okay, now I get it. Like because she's only seen like old Hugh Grant, so it's like, man. But yeah, thanks for helping me start a movie collection and a bit of debt as well. You know,
happy to.
Yeah, just a hole in my pocket. Like I'm just like every week I'm like, you want to go to Zia?
Modern American.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, consumer.
That's what credit cards are for.
Exactly. No. I might. Why not? Just max it out. Who cares? It's not like you can take the debt with you. You know what I mean?
True.
But yeah, this has been an excellent episode. Ryan, thank you so much for coming on and discussing this movie and other movies with me. I am your movie matchmaker, Jalen Williams. You can reach us on Instagram and TikTok. I'm still setting up the pages, man. Just give me some time. I think it's at the Movie Matchmaker Pod on both. But if you don't,
check the description.
Yeah, check there. Check. You know, I got spots.
It's early days,
and you're like off the grid, so you don't. Yeah. You can't follow this man.
Physical media, no social media.
Right.
I'm ready to up and go at any point.
Right. All right, everybody. This has been episode 3 of the Movie Matchmaker Podcast. We will see you in the next one. Hey, listen, we're not a professional podcast. Okay, we're having fun here.
Yeah,
and if you're having fun, we're having fun. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.